Hello, everyone. This is Faheem Jackson, and this is episode 98 of my podcast show, In the Know. This podcast is aimed at trying to guide people through the world with a variety of topics. I'm also using this platform to ask questions and try my best to answer these questions with my viewpoints of the world around me. The following episode introduction speech is for the topic of today, and that introduction speech is regarding, are we God's chosen species? We all know that the Bible said that man was created in God's likeness. So that means that humans are God's chosen ones. Or is he the God to another species and we're just getting it wrong? Could there be other species on this earth that God is more in tune with? Is there a species that is being protected that we can't reach? Because there is still land that the human species have not been able to navigate. But are there lands that we have and animals that were able to escape us? These are just a few of the questions one may ask to understand why there may be another species that is being watched over more than ourselves. Now myself, I'm not self-centered to believe that I am this special, that someone is watching me. Yet a fundamentalist might think that other species is crazy. Yet, let's see if we can figure this out, because fundamentalists will say that other species were for our purposes as people. The fifth day. What is the significance of the fifth day? The animals and plants that inhabit the earth were created on this day by God. And since they were the species created by God before humans, maybe this is the reason why God might have them as a chosen species. But then again, humans have been known to disrupt the lives of a lot of plants and animals. So they can't be this chosen species if he is not protecting them from us. But there are so many species of mammals and plant life that we have not been able to come in contact with. So could these be chosen ones? Because there is so much land and water that man has not found. More water than land, that God could be protecting us from these places and inhabitants that occupy the spaces. Now, I know what so many people are thinking. It sounds ridiculous that God is protecting a species from us. But for the sake of the episode, let's assume it is true. Then it's safe to say God's species, for time being, is safe from people. What about the sixth day? This is the day that man was made on earth, and from his ribs came Eve, the first woman on earth. These two people would be the ones that would go on to populate the planet. Now, whether you believe it or not, man became quite pivotal after everything was placed in the world. Here's where we consider humans as God's chosen ones, and a lot of our beliefs have to do with no other species quite like ourselves. We are given conscience to make the types of rational decisions, or better yet, perceived decisions that require us to live on this planet, giving us a special quality. Or at least to us, we think this is special quality. There are other animals on this planet who are better suited to survive than ourselves. But this is the sixth day, and this is our day. So why are we God's chosen ones? One reason is the way we look in the face. Then again, we do bear a strong resemblance to our ape cousins, as scientists would say. Another reason is our complex languages we have decided to communicate. Third reason is free will, to make decisions to do or not to do. Other species have that ability, don't have that ability. Then again, are we truly as special as I am explaining? Let's go into our next section where we discuss the human species. Over the course of our human existence, we've been trying to figure out how to live on Earth as well as building infrastructure to scale. A hurdle to building would be the wars we fight with each other as people. This has always been our Achilles heel to survival, because there's nothing else we have as direct enemies other than ourselves. So it is strange that we hunt each other the way we do. So with that said, can we say that man is chosen species for God? I mean, why would God put this chosen ones on earth, giving us the will to make decisions freely, then allow us to hunt each other down? Can we truly say that being chosen means to hunt each other? Chosen species would be universally accepting of other people. Chosen species would aid each other before they would attack. Why is that? Why do we do what we do? Well, let's observe the nature element of people that is not godly. And that is the mammal that is us. Humans have been evolving over the past 250,000 years to become these Homo sapiens you see now. We learned early on the basics of survival, but then we grew the scale once we learned how to work together. The ingenuity of our species has allowed us to build our civilization over the tens of thousands of years that has brought us to where we are today. But the real advancement has been over the past 100 years. This is probably why we have seen ourselves as this chosen species. Now, don't get me wrong. We felt this way prior to 100 years ago. Yet these past 100 have propelled us way past the past. And if you don't believe we are chosen on this earth, look at what we have built. No other species on this earth have done what we have done. So let's ask the question. That is the question of the episode. And the question is, are we God's chosen species? Now, with everything that has been said, are we now the chosen species? Personally, I would not say there is a chosen species on earth. To me, the earth is what it is, which is survival of the fittest. Humans are better suited when it comes to advancement in our civilization, but I would not say that humans are the best suited for survival, because there are mammals that survive under harsh conditions way more than what we can handle. There are animals that burrow under the ground to escape weather or animals who camouflage themselves to hide from their predators. But let's say for the sake of the episode regarding religion, we go down this path. Then yes, are the chosen species because the Bible speaks of animals and sea life in the sense of us having domain over the lands and skies? So why would God give us the domain if we weren't the chosen ones? He put us in charge so we could do his biddings on earth. Are we more than what he made us? What does that mean? As humans, us considering ourselves to be chosen species by a higher power means that we have a strong interest in us. We look around the society and it's hard to not look at yourself as special. But what are we? But what we are carbon-based life forms that took hundreds of thousands of years to evolve. So go from an ape to walking upright is a feat in itself, not to mention the technological advancement of our civilization. Now, are we more than we see ourselves to be? I don't see humans as special as we think we ourselves to be. Don't get me wrong. There has been another species to walk this earth that has done. There has never been another species to walk this earth that has done quite what we have done. But we tend to see ourselves through our own accomplishments. So we have that. Then why look to the sky? Because as much as we see ourselves through our personal greatness, there's still a question that exists as to where we came from and where we're going. So we look to God for guidance. Do we need it? As time progresses, we are losing religion more and more. But for the time being, we still need God. Let's think about another species that might be chosen. Let's ask a question. Are there any other species on this earth that could potentially be chosen? Well, let's try to figure out if there is a special species that may be chosen. A lion is a creature that controls so much of the African Serengeti, for instance, where very few animals would dare to challenge them. So in the context of their space versus other predators, they could be seen as chosen. Not many animals want to have to go face to face with a lion. What about animals that are not as predatory regarding survival? There are animals like the chipmunk that can burrow underground to hide from predators so they don't become prey. This gives them a special quality, making them somewhat chosen. Yet overall, I still don't believe in my heart of hearts there's a chosen species. And here's where I go into the scientific viewpoint. Scientists hear this statement regarding being chosen and laugh. To them, they think people are as evolving from apes. And from that time until now, we learn how to build our civilization to scale. And in their minds, we're still evolving and learning how to build our societies. Because God choosing a specific species to make them chosen seems to take aim at the human experience from a too simplistic and too trivial mentality. Even how God built the universe is erroneous to the scientists. But you can't just walk up to the people and call God erroneous and expect them to listen to you. And don't worry about trying to appease everyone, because even in the face of logic, people will go against you. So make sure it appeals to something that people can hold on to, especially since people still feel the need to hold on to something outside of themselves. What will come of man in the future? See, as time progresses, they will be seeing more and more of these belief systems kind of fall apart, because this was writing during a time period where people in power had control over the masses through information. Information is so readily available today, it's hard to control people like in the past. So making the statement that we are a chosen species doesn't hold the same weight that it once did. So what now? What is going to come of man as we move toward the future? The best guess I'll be coming up with is that we will discover more and more of ourselves. The more we find, I see religion starting to falter. So with this end statement, thinking why we have to know about God having a chosen species. Thinking we are chosen as people or another species being chosen gives life a special meaning. And if we are that chosen species as humans, then it gives us a further reason to be more self-focused. It's not enough that we can create technology to scale higher and higher scales and build great civilizations. No. We need to also be a being created by a deity to have domain over the earth and everything that lives here. What's interesting is that we control more of each other than any other species that the Bible says we have domain over. Here's where I further question the idea of a chosen species. Why would we be chosen then turn around and have to fear for each other? God gives us free will, but this is what we choose to do with it? It just doesn't make any sense. I guess that's just our cross to bear. So, thanks for listening to In the Know. I'll be bringing you another episode regarding religion. The topic will be asking the question, should people marry others from different religious backgrounds?